Chapter 9. Do I not even have the right to miss you, Emma? He said it quietly, as if the question were meant more for himself than for her. There was no accusation in his voice, only something fragile, almost afraid. Have you come to hate me? To this extent? Or... He stopped for a moment. That pause was not empty silence, but heavy hesitation, as though he stood at the edge of a single word, capable of shattering what remained of him. Is there something that prevents you? Or someone? He did not finish. He left the sentence suspended, incomplete, like a question whose ending he was too afraid to hear. Who? Emma? That question, so simple on the surface, was heavier than my heart could bear. My breathing tightened. It was not a question of who, but of why. Why after all this time? Why now? And why me? After I had buried everything that tied me to that name, beneath years of silence and denial? I did not hate him. I never had. But I also no longer possessed the courage to admit what still remained. Part of me wanted to scream. There is no one. No reason. No barrier. And another part, truer, crueler. I knew there was something that truly stopped me. Myself. Fear. And memories that had never healed. I stood in silence, carrying the question inside me, without daring to answer. Because some questions, once answered, to leave nothing behind. He repeated the question again, this time with sharper edge, as though his patience were eroding with every second of silence. Who? I trembled. I did not know whether it was because of his tone, cutting through me without mercy, or because of the cold breeze that slipped between us, a reminder that I was not safe. My body reacted before my mind did. My fingers stiffened, my chest tightened, and the word lodged in my throat, as though speaking it would cause everything to collapse at once. I did not want to answer, not because I lacked an answer, but because I knew that any answer, no matter which, would change what lay between us forever. My silence lasted longer than it should have, heavier than it could bear. The meeting began, little by little, to resemble the interrogation of a prisoner, rather than a long-awaited reunion, one that was meant to hold warmth, but instead filled with tension and suspicion. And just as I felt that even silence itself had become an accusation, a third voice intervened, a formal, composed voice, carrying boundaries that could not be crossed. My lord, dinner is ready. The moment stopped. The question stepped back, but its presence did not fade. It remained suspended between us, as though it had not been postponed, only waiting for a more suitable time to return. Would you prefer, my lord, that dinner be served here, in the private garden? Or shall we move to the private chamber? He addressed his words to him with formal respect, but I barely heard them, because the other was not looking at him. He was still looking at me, a sharp, unwavering gaze, as though it placed the blame upon me, as though I were the one who had left, the one who had abandoned him, the one who had chosen absence and left him behind. I felt the weight of that gaze, as if it were closing in from every side, judging me without trial, demanding a confession I did not know how to give. At last, he spoke. What do you prefer, Emma? Would you like us to continue our conversation somewhere warmer? It was not a casual question, nor was he truly seeking my opinion about the place. There was something deeper in his voice, a veiled invitation, a silent test. Would I retreat, or step one pace closer? I hesitated. The air around me grew heavier. I answered in a trembling voice, uncertain whether it was fear, or the evening cold, or everything pressed inside my chest at once. Like the garden, it is beautiful. The words came out simple, safe, sheltering behind beauty, so they would not confess to anything else. But I knew, and he knew, that my choice was not about the place. It was about the distance. Then, let it be so. He said it calmly, a calmness of someone who yielded to my wish, without truly surrendering his own. Only a few minutes passed, before the servants began placing refined dishes upon the table. A table that had seemed small to me at first, then grew more crowded, with every plate added. Foods I had heard of, and others I did not even know by name. Rich aromas, deliberate colors, a luxury that did not belong to my world, nor to me. Yet, it was not the food that occupied my thoughts. It was him. He was still watching me, with a gaze that did not eat, did not wonder, as though he were trying to pierce through me, seeking what I hid, more than what I revealed. I felt exposed, despite my silence, despite the small distance between us. At last, the servants finished arranging the table, and withdrew with measured quiet, as though leaving behind something that did not concern them, and we remained alone. The silence returned, but it was not comforting. It was filled with unasked questions, and memories circling us, without finding a place to land. He rose from his chair suddenly. The movement was calm, yet decisive, and he approached me in short steps. My body stiffened against my will. I did not move. I did not retreat. I did not know what to do. He reached out and began filling my plate himself. A simple gesture, on the surface. Yet it carried a weight I was not prepared for, a closeness unspoken, a care I did not know if I still deserved, and that silent desire to tend to me, as though nothing between us had ever broken. I held my breath and let him do it. Then he began placing the pieces of meat onto my plate, slowly. Every piece he set down felt like a silent declaration of ownership over every detail of this dinner, every moment we shared. His hand was steady, firm, as if any careless movement on my part might disturb the precise balance he intended to impose. "This is venison royale au port," he said quietly, his eyes never leaving mine. When I first tasted it, I immediately banned it from the kingdom. I did not want anyone to taste it, except you. He looked at me as if measuring every feeling within me, then gestured to each piece on the plate. I hunted this deer myself. Every step of the hunt, every motion, every moment, belonged to me, to preserve its flavor, for whom I chose, and I chose you to know it. Then he pointed to the glass of wine beside me, as if revealing a secret. "And this is very special wine, extracted from rare vineyards, retaining its strength and warmth. It complements this venison, and it suits you, and you alone." Every movement he made was calm, yet commanding, asserting his presence in every detail. The way he placed the food, the way he observed my reactions. Everything spoke without words. "I control every detail of this place, and everything that concerns you here.